Hey guys, so coming at you with like a more real-time vlog because a lot of the vlogs have been travel vlogs from like a year ago, and I'm sorry I'm still uploading them. I just haven't had the motivation really, but now that we have nothing else to do and we're in quarantine, I've been chugging along editing some of those, and I want to edit them all so that I can start getting them out on a consistent schedule. But I had a little project that I wanted to share with you today. So we're doing a mural on this blank blue wall. So this is our dog room. I'll give you guys a tour of it when I'm done here, but everything's kind of been pushed aside. So this wall was already painted like this light blue when we moved in. And so we're repainting this wall here, which is kind of the blank wall. And I saw this on Pinterest, like a mountain mural. So I was like, heck, I want to do that. And so we got our stuff. I'm starting to tape off all the corners because the white down here for the trim, and then I'm doing the walls as well because I'm only doing one wall, and I won't tape off the ceiling because they already laid down our base color essentially, so that's going to be like the sky. So I won't be painting up there, so I'm not taping that off, but I'll tape off both sides here. I'm going to move those collars so they're out of the way. And then I got my helpers here. I put flat sheets down that we just like aren't using anymore as like paint, like drip, in case the paint drips, paint floor covering, because we have carpet. Like you can tell we already used it for our bedroom. Hi Aslan, this is not a bowl. So we got our supplies. We got some bowls to pour the paint into in case I need to mix anything. We got a bunch of brushes so I don't have to clean out brushes. And then we are using Ecos paint. So this is actually, like, I found this on Instagram from someone else, and they have pet safe paint. So the fumes from paints, like when you're painting, like my dogs were really sensitive to that when we first moved in because we painted our bedroom, and they did not like that, and it's not good for dogs. But this is safe for dogs. Like, it doesn't have a fume, and it's meant for like pet dwelling areas. So it's really good for like, you know, like resistance against scratches and stuff like that. Not that my dogs scratch, but so I had gone to Home Depot and picked out the color palettes that I wanted, and they just did a color match. Like, you just put in their website, the company, and they color match it for you. So this is called like the Saga Blue. It says color match. So the 4 colors that I'm using, the darkest, which will be the base, so you go lightest to darkest. The darkest is a Nocturne Blue, so if you want to color match, this is the number. And then the second darkest is going to be a Mammoth Mountain. And then next you have the Blue Moon Bay. And then you have the Saga Blue. But I don't know what color the base wall is. It's just like a light blue. And what you can actually do is you can just get a bigger one of a dark and a light and just mix in more dark as you're going down. But I was just lazy and wanted to get 4 shades that matched. So that works as well. I doubt I'll use all of this or even close to this, but that way I can touch up if I need to. Yeah, so we're going to get started with this. And I got my helpers right here, being lazy. So if you guys can see, I have the pencil markings down, and it's super messy, super rough. What I originally did was, like, I started at the top, and I realized that that's probably not the best idea. So what I recommend is start at the bottom and make kind of your base depending on how high you want your mountains to be. Because I realized afterwards I have dog kennels here, and I probably won't be able to see much of the bottom. So do your bottom, how tall you want your base to be, and then do your top, how much sky you want to see left, and then fill in how many layers you want. So I only am going to have 5 total. So I'm going to have the bottom, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and then the sky. So 5 colors total, technically. So I opened up all the paints, and I checked the colors. So that's my first one, second one, third one, 4th one. And looking at it, I'm kind of overthinking this color here because it has a little bit of a green hint to it compared to the other ones. So what I think I'm going to do actually is I'm going to mix these two and make a middle color and go over that and not use this turquoise. So we got a little bit of progress going here. I have kind of like not very good brushes. They were just like the cheapest ones at Home Depot and stuff. So if you see here, my lines aren't very even, which is fine because, you know, a mountain silhouette is not very even. So you can see it's drying here, which is why it's darker. So you kind of got this going on here. And yeah, see, that color is just very off. So I'm going to mix to cover that one up. Looks pretty good. I mean, I kind of just freehanded it. It's mountain shapes are never perfect. So you kind of, I'm going to go in after everything dries and add a little bit more of a ridge to some of these. Like right here, you can tell it, I smudged it right there. So that'll have to get fixed up. All right, here we go. First layer done. Looks pretty good. I mean, I think the things are a little bit too even, which I'm going to go over with my second coat and kind of fix it. Like you can tell the sections here are a little bit super even. So I'm going to add a little bit more ridges and make it a little bit uneven. So what I'm going to use now is I'm going to use these foam brushes because they don't have the bristles, because what bristles end up doing is things like that. They don't completely cover the area. So I'm going to go over with foam brushes, and that should help. And like where there's straight lines, I'm going to make a little bit of ridges here. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but thank goodness for taping off the sides. All right, here we go. So I'm going over kind of the area, but I am kind of moving my paintbrush a little bit just to make some differences so it's not just straight lines. It's hard to do this and record at the same time, and don't worry about it not being perfect, and make sure you're getting all the bottom here. So mind you, this is like the second time I've ever painted a wall before, and the first time was all just white, like white walls, white ceiling, white everything, so I didn't really worry about taping anything off. Followed my advice and taped things off, but tape it correctly, because apparently I didn't do it correctly, because look at what just happened. That just happened. I don't think I placed it, like the bottom is fine. There was a little bit of spots like there, but oh my gosh. I don't really know what to do because I don't have the base paint for it, because it was already painted this color when we moved in and they don't have any more of it in the house. So what I think I'm going to end up doing is take my lightest blue that I used and mix it with white paint that I still have from painting the other room, and hopefully get a shade close enough that I can just kind of touch it up and no one will notice. So here goes nothing. This is the extent to how much I got. I tried to mix and try to get as close as the wall as possible. But you know what? It looks better than having giant, like this side looks way better than having giant splashes of paint. So I would say pretty successful. Here's the wall completed. Again, highly urge you to use painter's tape correctly. And then I added a little me hiking with the dogs. Can you guess who's who? So that's it. Wall's completed. Couple of things I've learned from this experience. Obviously, I'm not a painter. Like if you came here looking for a DIY, this is not it. Don't copy what I did. Painter's tape, I did it. I obviously didn't do it correctly, so make sure you really get one of those tools to like make it in place so that it doesn't seep under. I also, like, my paint isn't very even, like you can tell on this, and that's because I use different sized paintbrushes, and I also try to use a roller, which, meh, didn't work out as well. But you know what? From a distance, you can't tell, and my whole thought was, like, mountains aren't perfect, and it kind of depends also, like, just how the light is shining on the paint. Another thing is to start lightest to darkest, which is what I did, but it's because you can cover over dark better than you can light. Let your layers dry. I was impatient and I kind of just like kept going over it, and it ended up like blotching and mixing colors. So like let all your paint dry and then go over the lines. The other thing is 100% recommend this paint. I was in this room all day. The dogs were in and out. And honestly, like, there's no fumes to this paint, like, whatsoever. This is some paint that I mixed. Like, there's nothing, no fumes whatsoever. So honestly, like, it's been great. Like, I opened the window because it was getting a little hot in here because the sun shines directly in here. But other than that, my other room that I painted, my master bedroom that I just painted with bears or something, paint from Home Depot, it smelled, the entire room smelled for like days. Even with the windows open, with the fans open, it was just like overwhelming. Like, and this is like, it dried so fast. I think I completed this project a total of 3 or 4 hours. And that's me like not knowing what I'm doing. And so yeah, dried really fast, was able to do pretty much 2 coats on it. And yeah, like I have plenty left over. So I used these 4 colors. However, what you can do is you can just get the darkest color and the lightest color that you have as your sky and mix them and make kind of an ombre. Just make sure you mix enough because you never can get the same color twice when you're mixing. And honestly, I used a quart, and for each layer, I barely even made a dent in that quart. So having just 2 quarts will totally be fine if you're just mixing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this ridiculous tragedy, but honestly, I think it looks pretty good.